This is Building Vocabulary Skills, Chapter 9. I'm going to say the words first so you can hear the pronunciation and repeat them after me. Elapse, evasive, fluent, futile, or sometimes you'll hear futile, harass, infer, lethal, obsession, ordeal, persistent. The first word is elapse. It's a verb. Although 4 years had elapsed since I last saw Marion, we talked as if we'd never parted. When I'm busy with work I enjoy, I never notice how much time is elapsing. This word means to go by. It's always used with some type of time. And then often, as in the first example, it's had elapsed, which is past perfect. So 3 days had elapsed since blah, 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 or how much time is elapsing. 3 hours had elapsed. So it's how much time has gone by from the beginning until now. All right, the next word is evasive. It's an adjective. The Rothmans worried that their son was hiding something when he became evasive about where he'd been and what he'd been doing. We didn't want anyone at school to know our father was in the hospital, so we were evasive about him, saying only he has to be away for a while. Evasive means indefinite. So if you're avoiding giving a direct answer and you're not answering the question directly or clearly, and maybe not saying anything, that means you're being evasive. Often politicians, if they're asked a direct question, will be evasive and will give a roundabout answer and not really say yes or no. So that would be considered evasive. Sometimes parents, as in the first example, will ask questions to their kids. The kids won't answer directly. You would say the kids are being evasive. They're just not answering. They're not saying yes or no. Fluent. Adjective, you probably know this one. To work in a foreign country, it helps to be fluent in its language. Jamila wanted to hear what was wrong with her car in simple, everyday words. She was not fluent in the language of auto mechanics. Word means able to express yourself. So you are already fluent in your first language and you are learning English. So you are becoming, or maybe you are fluent in English. Some of you are fluent in many, many languages. So fluent just means you express yourself clearly in another language. Futile could be pronounced futile. That might be British, I'm not sure, but most Americans say futile. My best friend is so stubborn that once he has made a decision, it is futile to change his mind. I'm convinced that washing machines eat socks, so it's futile to try and find matching pairs in a load of clean laundry. This word means hopeless. It's not even worth trying because it's not going to work. If your husband doesn't like red walls, if you try to persuade him to paint the wall red, it's just futile because there's no way he's going to change his mind. If your kid doesn't eat vegetables, it might be futile to try to persuade your kid to eat vegetables. So whatever it is that's hopeless to try to do, it's just futile. Don't waste your time. Next one is harass. That's a verb. A few students in the cafeteria like to harass everyone by frequently clinking their silverware and stamping their feet. Sometimes it doesn't help to harass people about quitting smoking. Bothering them all the time may make them resist quitting. The word means to annoy. So harass is a little bit stronger than annoy. It does go with bother, so you hear the word harassment as well. Harassment is the noun form. So harass is when you bother them again and again and again and again. So it is also used as in sexual harassment. So those are the different ways that harass is used. It's definitely a negative word. The next word is infer. It's a verb. The fact that the old man left his fortune to strangers led us to infer he was not fond of his children. Since you went hiking on Super Bowl Sunday, I inferred that you were not a football fan. This word means to conclude. So the speaker or writer says something, and the listener or the reader infers. So you're making a guess, you're concluding based on what he said, even if they did not say it directly. You're guessing, you're concluding about that. So if a woman said she was having morning sickness, you would probably infer that she was pregnant. Okay, the next word is lethal. It's an adjective. My father is not alive today because of a lethal combination of drinking and driving. Second, Jake is so good at karate that his hands are lethal weapons. Because he realizes he could kill somebody, he's very careful with his karate skills. This word is deadly. You would hear maybe a lethal injection. So it always means deadly. It's just how it's used. Obsession is a noun. Psychologists help people travel by obsessions to gain control over their thinking so they are not bothered by the same thoughts over and over. Going to garage sales was at first just a hobby, but bargain hunting has become such an obsession, I can't seem to stop going to them. And it means a constant concern. The verb is obsess, the adjective is obsessive, so it just means doing something over and over. You cannot stop thinking about it. So it's an obsession. You're thinking about it in your head. All right, the next word is ordeal. It's a noun. Even if you're in good physical condition, running cross country is an ordeal. Hannah came out of the difficult 3-hour test, sighed, and said, "Whew, what an ordeal. I am worn out." Ice climbing is an ordeal. This means a difficult challenge. So anything that's challenging for you specifically, you would say, what an ordeal, or that's an ordeal, meaning it's really hard. So whatever it could be, running a marathon, what an ordeal. Or going to get your license at the DMV and you have to have all the different paperwork and you have to wait in line, you might say, whew, what an ordeal. Okay, the last word is persistent. It's an adjective. At first, Tony wouldn't go out with Lola, but she was persistent in asking him. Now they're engaged. I am very persistent salesman. I work with customers for as long as it takes for them to buy something. It means stubborn, but it's a good meaning. Stubborn can sometimes be negative, but persistent is the positive side of it. So if you are persistent, you will keep going to your classes. You're going to keep taking ESL classes. You don't give up. You just keep going until you get what you want. All right, that's it for this chapter. Thank you very much.